So, one thing that's really important to remember with the mindfulness meditation practices that we are doing is that breath and noticing the breath isn't the meditation itself. The meditation experience itself is not the breath. However, what we are doing is using the breath as a focal training point. So really, there's thousands of methods of meditation, lots of different ways people choose to train their attention. And what I'm offering here in this course as a main training tool is the breath at the nostrils. And there's many reasons that I feel like the breath at the nostrils is the ideal training point for the meditation practice. So let's go over some of those right now. One of the reasons that the breath is such an ideal training point for the practice is that it's always with us. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, as long as we are alive, we have the breath. And so that means if we are in a time of crisis, if we're in the line at the bank, if we're stuck at an airport, no matter where we are, we have no excuse not to be able to practice mindfulness meditation. Because as long as there is breath, we have a training point to practice. Secondly, another reason I think it's so ideal to work with the breath at the nostrils as a training point for mindfulness meditation is that we can be inspired by the breath. Without any effort of our own, without even having to try, without having to remember, without having to strive or plan or make a to-do list, we breathe. It's like the most essential thing we do every day, and we don't even have to think about it. I feel like this could inspire us for our whole life. Imagine if you had to remember to breathe. Think how quickly we would be dead. And there's just such an inspiration in the ease of that, in the simplicity. We can bring that inspiration to our whole life. What if our whole life could be that easy? Without any effort, without any striving, our life just lived itself. That's what it's like with the breath, and that is a possibility for our entire life. The third reason I really think it's great to work with the breath at the nostrils as a training point in our mindfulness meditation practice is impermanence. Every moment the breath is different at the nostrils. It is changing. There's literally nothing to grasp onto. We just observe, we just notice, we just experience it without having to go, oh, this moment the breath is good, this moment the breath is bad, this moment I like the breath, this moment I don't like the breath. There's no time or chance for any of that experience. We just experience the breath at the nostril. We experience the temperature, the flow, if it's choppy, if it's smooth, if it's long, if it's short. We just experience it exactly how it is. And again, that so much reflects our life. It's always changing. It's so impermanent. There's nothing to grasp onto. There's just things to experience. And so, because really, when we're practicing mindfulness meditation, it's like a microscopic look into our entire life. And so I would say that the breath at the nostrils is that type of microscopic window into what life is like, that constantly changing experience. Right? And what we're doing is we're sitting in a very still position, not ultra still, like holding ourselves like a tight soldier in line, but we're still and we're calm, and there's impermanence and there's changing motion, and we just stay with it without flying off the handle, without getting up and checking our email, without getting a bowl of ice cream. We just stay and we notice the breath, and one moment we like it and one moment we don't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change our state of being. We just experience everything there is to experience. And that is how we rewire our brain, through that non-reactivity to impermanence. And that is why we work with the breath at the nostrils in our mindfulness meditation practice.